Good day, South Africa. I'm Sanveer Manilal, and I'd like to welcome you to the marketplace. Now, it is a sad but true statistic. The unemployment rate in South Africa today is at an all-time high, with everyone from students that are graduating from university to school leavers struggling to find employment today. However, all hope is not lost. There's a company, an organization that's here to help the unemployed find work. I'd like to introduce you to DreamWorker. Ronald Bownes, it's a pleasure to have you in here today. Welcome to the marketplace.
Thank you very much.
So can you tell us a bit more about DreamWorker?
Thank you. It's always a wonderful opportunity to be able to share the word about how we can tackle this really tough situation called unemployment in this country. So we set up DreamWorker in 2008 to particularly focus on helping the unemployed at the lower end of the economic spectrum. So those people who are struggling to work with regards to maybe lack of experience, not great CVs, lack of skills, we invite them to come and join DreamWorker and register with us and engage with us. And as we build up what I call quite a wonderful database of unemployed people, we are in putting people into work, into processes and through our system, which helps them at least get into the work stream, and if they've been unemployed and been retrenched, then we help them get back into the work stream. So DreamWorker's core focus is helping people at the lower end of the economic spectrum back into the workplace. And since 2008, I think we've been doing that quite successfully.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. I mean, especially the fact that you're non-profit. How did you decide that you want to do this? How did you start DreamWorker?
Well, we came across an unemployment office in Hart Bay many years ago where I live, and my wife and I were invited to project manage it for a while, and we basically, the rest is history. We got so sucked into helping unemployed people in the central part of the Hart Bay area that the provincial government in 2008 invited us to come and open up offices in the central part of the Cape Peninsula, where, as your statistic alluded to earlier, if you bring that down to the Cape Town region, there's probably about 400,000 to 500,000 unemployed people that need help and need facilitation and need a pathway back into the workspace.
Wow, those are actually shocking statistics. Now, my experience with employment agencies, I know you're not an employment agency, but my experience has been walk in, fill in a few forms, and hope for the best. How is DreamWorker different?
That's a great question, because we had to look back at that very seriously. The Department of Labour's got a list, and they call it a database, and everybody's walking around with lists and databases of unemployed. And we really didn't want people to come into our office and say, can I just sign up, and then once I'm on the database, I can kind of hopefully find work through you guys. We looked at it in a rather broader spectrum and said, how can we help people to rediscover themselves and rediscover their purpose in life? How can we document this process? How can we say to them, what is their dream they have for their life? Hence the name DreamWorker came about. What is the dream you have for your life? And everybody's got a dream. So when they come in, the process is very geared towards getting to know the individual and making sure that when the person leaves our office, they've come with a little bit, they leave with a bit more hope, and they leave with a little bit more expectation that there is opportunity out there for them specifically. And even if they've got low skill, poor CV, or lack of experience, we can help them on that path. And this is all documented and put together through a 2 to 3 step process, as well as putting them onto electronic database, so that when we finally look for somebody on our database, we can drill down into the database and get quite a number of specific candidates for whatever job comes through. So there's a bit of a journey we walk with everybody, and we want to know their dreams, and we want to know their purpose, and we want to know their background. So it's not just come in, sign up, name and number, and thank you very much on the database, but you need to have done a bit of homework yourself, and you need to come prepared when you come to our offices. Okay.
Now say I want to contact Dreamweaver. Say I want to actually look for employment. What do I need to do?
So the journey that we alluded to earlier is that we need to say to you, come to our offices for the first time, or you can download the application form for the website. And then you're going to have to fill that in, because it's a 3 to 4 page application form. So we want to know your purpose and your dream and where you've worked before and where you've been to school before. We also want to know your hobbies. Have you volunteered in a non-profit organization? Have you volunteered in a church? That all helps build a profile. And when you do come with that filled out form, you must have all the certified copies of your life history, your CVs. You must have certified copies of your ID. and all the paperwork that you need that will help us, like particularly written references. Once that process is complete, and we think you're ready, then we're going to have a discussion or an interview with you to get you onto our database.
Okay, now as an unemployed person, this is very important for me. What's the fee?
Well, that's a great question. At the moment, we don't charge any fee. Our service to the unemployed beneficiaries for free, and our service to the employers also for free. That's why we're currently a non-profit organization, and we're staying that way. We invite the employer to give a donation if they like our services. But quite honestly, we've kept it free to the beneficiary or the unemployed simply because many of them don't even have the taxi fare to get to us. And I think it's a social service, it's a much needed service. And you know, our dream is to get South Africa working and have zero unemployment in my lifetime. I know I've got a long way to go still, but that's what our passion is. Can we get as many people working as possible, even if it's in part-time and casual work, not just full-time jobs?
I can definitely see there's a strong passion in you. Yeah. And I can also tell that this is a very hand-in-hand kind of an idea that you have. It's something different that you're trying to do. You're trying to be imaginative. You're trying to reinvent the way we look at unemployment. So can you tell us more about the ideas you have in actually tackling this crisis that we have at the moment?
Great. I always love those kinds of questions because I'm able to share that we are not going to solve employment in this country purely by creating new jobs, and we're certainly not going to solve unemployment by creating business people who will create jobs. That's probably going to take up about 10 to 20% of the 5 million. So we've still got another 4 million to look after. And in terms of that, we've developed some areas where we say, how do we get people into self-employment? So currently, at least about 70% of our placements off our database are in part-time work, casual work, and project work. And that means that we're moving into a society where more and more people we have to advise them and guide them and to say, guys, there are opportunities out there, but they aren't permanent, fixed, full-time jobs. What do you need? So we've created this wonderful thing called the Dream Diamond. Okay. In which we share with people going through our worker readiness programs. We've taken it to schools, we've taken it to parents of schools. And the 4 corners of that diamond are quite simply, what is the purpose you have in life? Where do you see yourself going? What is the dream you want to build around that purpose? The second point, your dream. The third point is, what contribution are you going to make? And that's quite a conversation because everybody comes in looking for work and a job, and rightly so, they're unemployed. Yes. But we say to them, that's great, we'll try and feed you along that railway line to the next job. However, what contribution do you see yourself best making? And often that contribution thought or that discovery of where you're best going to contribute leads you down a different path to what you thought the job was. And finally, how do you self-inspire yourself every day? Because once you've come out of the DreamWorker offices a little bit, your shoulders are back and you've got a bit more hope, then you're going to go and say, okay, well, I need to keep going myself. Yes. Where's my purpose? Where's my dream? Where's my contribution? So those are the elements we're bringing in to say to people, don't just look at looking for a job, see how you can actually see yourself being self-employed in the future along your purpose and along your dream. And it's quite a different conversation, and It's quite a different expanding kind of self-awareness process that we take people through.
Okay. It sounds like a journey that an unemployed person takes with DreamWorker.
Correct.
And at the end, there looks like there's definitely light at the end of that tunnel. It seems as if there's so much more that you're doing to empower the person than merely just finding employment.
Absolutely.
Do you have any special programs that tackle anything else besides the issue of unemployment?
Yeah, we do. We've, besides our Dream Diamond program and our worker readiness program, as well as getting people off our database and linking them to unemployed people, one of the programs is a work creation program. So it comes back to self-employment. We discovered, for example, that 90% of the school fees in Hanover Park schools are unpaid by the parents because they don't have work. And so we've created a program called Link of Love, in which we get corporate sponsors and individual sponsors to sponsor days of work. We then take those sponsored days of work into the community, and we find people who are willing to work. They work at schools.
It sounds wonderful, Ronald. I'm ready to get my friends to sign up. How do we contact you?
So DreamWorker, our central office, we've also got an office in Atlantis, but our central office in Athlone is www.dreamworker.org.za. That's the website. You can look at going through the email, which is info@dreamworker.org.za. Or you can contact us directly to the office on 021-696-4048.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming through, Ronald. We really appreciate it, and I really appreciate what you're doing for the South Africans out there.
Thank you very much.
I'm Sanveer Manilal, and this has been The Marketplace. you.